And then she hung up on me. Just Google yourself. So I got my dream job at a bank. I was on every interview and every step closer to getting the offer. But something happened. Everything went silent. Days turned into weeks and I heard nothing. I managed to get a hold on the HR manager and I asked her what happened. Her only reply was, after a few seconds of pausing, just Google yourself. And then she hung up on me.
Ooh.
So I decided to type my own name into the search bar. Headlines were flashing. Criminal conviction, but it was not me. It was my father.
Ooh, nightmare.
Nightmare.
Oh my God.
So should I be judged for that? Should my future depending on something that someone else did? And should I really have to prove myself to just prove who I actually am?
Huge problem.
So
Yeah.
in this case, what can I do? That's what we're going to talk about today.
We are.
Definitely. And this is a part of the masterclass on GDPR.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the right to be forgotten.
Yes, which I never heard about.
No. So let's learn, because it's so important and it can help you guys out if you have some information about yourself online that you do not want others to see, that can hurt you when you look for a job, when you're dating, you look for an apartment, etc. Because, I mean, information like that online, you not getting a job, because you can imagine on the other end, if they Google you and you're in competition with 10 other people,
Exactly.
why would they go with you if they see that you're related to financial crime, right? So, super dangerous, super complex, and people also have so much misinformation about each other online, etc.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Yeah, it is. So
to start with.
yeah, we're going to help you out.
Yes.
So to start with, when we talk about GDPR, we're in Europe. So if the company is in Europe or you as a private person is based in Europe, you have this protection. And then what you can do is under Article 17 in GDPR, you have a right to erasure, which we here now call the right to be forgotten.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is a right to turn to the data controller, that's the one that's processing the personal data about you, and say, you know what, remove, delete, I don't want it.
Yes, but in this situation,
Yeah.
what do we do then? I mean, it's not my information.
No. And what we can do is we can turn to Google, because in 2014, there was a European Court of Justice made a ruling against Google Spain that said that Google may not index information if a person demands that they have a right to be forgotten in relation to a query on their name. So what you can do in this instance is you can turn to Google and tell them, I want the query in Ida Shimmy, then I do not want the URLs, the information connected to my father, connecting me to this financial crime, to stay. I want you to remove it.
Oh, so you can erase a connection.
Yeah. The data, the web page will remain. And if you search for something else, perhaps your father's name or the type of crime it was, then you can still get the information from the Google search. But if you search for Ida Shimmy, you can demand that they erase it, remove it.
Okay, because my next question was if the father was supposed to claim this right to be forgotten.
He can try as well. And every time, it's not an absolute right. You can only claim it relating to yourself, or if me as a lawyer, you can give me a power of attorney so I can do it for you, of course. There are even agencies that are professional trying to clean up people's reputation online.
Yes,
of course.
I understand.
Yeah, but otherwise you have to do it for yourself. You need to verify your identity. So you have to show that you're Ida Shimby. And then it's not an absolute right. We have to make an assessment whether the information is it inaccurate, inadequate, irrelevant, or excessive. And in this case, you can of course argue that it's not related to me. So it's excessive, it's irrelevant in relation to me, it's a long time ago, etc. And then most likely it sounds like you have a chance to get it removed related to your name, since it's something a long time ago that your father did and not you.
Because it gets so big effectives on me as a private person.
Exactly.
I didn't do anything.
Precisely. So there you can. But also, it's in the EU.
Yes.
Which means that if I take a flight to New York and I Google Ida Shimby, I will get the information. So remember that.
That's the tricky part.
Yeah. Because in the US, they weigh more heavily on the freedom of expression. And it's very important to respect both the sides. Because, I mean, imagine, Ida, that what if it's about you? You committed financial crime. And then you run for office, or you're appointed to be the new Minister of Finance in France. Would it be okay if you can tell Google, remove all of the information about me being a financial criminal?
That's a bit shady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is a complex issue that where do you draw the line between protecting you and your privacy, freedom of expression, and the public's interest for information. So if you are a public person, the right to be forgotten will be less.
Yes, I
But
understand.
if it's old information, the right to be forgotten will be more likely. If you're not a public person, it's more likely. If it's inadequate. For example, let's say that it's information that I Google, let's say you're arrested for a crime 5 years ago. But there's no more information, and in fact, you were let go 5 minutes later. Then you can argue that it should be removed.
Okay.
Because it's incomplete, right? So
Yes,
it gives me the perception that you are a criminal, but 5 minutes later, oh, sorry, it was the wrong redheaded woman.
Yes,
So
it was.
It was. Wasn't me.
But then let's say, because everybody's sharing so much information online on, social medias and everything. So imagine if I had like a Twitter account or, X nowadays, and I shared controversial ideas that I do not feel or can agree on today. Can I remove that type of information?
And that is also, like we said, Google only can remove it from the indexing, not the core source that will remain. But anything that you control, that's your account, typically you will have a right to remove it. But then if somebody else backlogged it, it might be hard to get access and have that removed. But your own accounts, typically, you have a far-reaching possibility to remove the information yourself.
That's very good to know.
Yeah, so think about that. Like, who has the information? How can I get it removed? Because also if you go directly to the URL link, the core, then there will be nothing for Google to index, right?
Yes, of course.
So think about that. Try to map out, because Google is such a powerful, and we're talking about all search engines. But we'll also drop down below, because Google is very helpful. So they have a form that you can fill in. So we'll drop that down below so you can find it. Yeah, and just fill it in. And what you need to do again is verify your identity. If it's your name, it can also be your nickname, that if you search, you want something removed. Be specific what URL links you want removed and why. So be very clear about how it relates to your name and why it should be removed.
That's really helpful knowledge.
Yeah, it is. So you can do a lot.
Yes. And now you know about the right to be forgotten.
Yep.
So if you think that this knowledge is valuable for you, like and subscribe our channel, because we're going to keep sharing this valuable knowledge to you so you can have this, as we just talked about, right to be forgotten, for example.
We're here for you, and we can expand, and we can go deep, and we can keep it high level.
Exactly. And if you have more questions, please drop them down below. We're happy to answer them.
Indeed. And we're powered by
LE Fitness today. Thank you so much for having us.
Hej då!
Hej då!